to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. I'm your host, Brian. Jason is here. Joe is here. Kevin, you escaped from your cave.
The darkness retreat's over.
I am like the was it the Chilean guy who was trapped down there for a little bit and came out?
Chilean miners?
So. I was only
weren't there 33 of them, not just one?
And they died, right?
No, they didn't die.
They got out?
No, they got out.
They saved.
Oh, okay, good. Because
it's only positivity on this one, man. Power positivity.
Okay, I thought it was like really poor taste there, Kevin.
Oh no.
Well, welcome back, man. I'm glad that all worked out well.
Was it really to watch Survivor?
No.
Okay. Now, did you watch Survivor? Because I saw the promo. This season for Survivor is different than all the other ones. How's it different?
Well,
they're on an island.
It's never different.
Oh, it's not?
It's like the same. It's like professional wrestling, right? It's some of the stuff is recycled. The promos aren't really new. It's like LA Knight, right? We got a new wrestler.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting a little flavor of Stone Cold, a little flavor of The Rock with his own twist on it. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like similar challenges, similar gameplay, different people. I'll still watch.
Okay. All right.
Boom.
Well, at least you can make time for the show, despite those amazing Survivor changes. And we're all here. So our new Cal Ripken streak of the four of us on the show begins again here on as we're recording on Thursday, October 26th.
Yay!
You said it, Cube. I love it. Let's get into it, guys. Kind of an interesting smorgasbord of topics this week. I think it's kind of a little all over the place. And maybe for the first time ever, we're going to start things off talking about Impact Wrestling. Yeah.
This is the first time you've ever brought up Impact Wrestling.
Yes. Making an impact.
At least in a current form or fashion. I think that's right. And the reason why we're doing this is they had Bound for Glory this weekend. And the big announcement came after the show was finished that Impact is going back to the original name of TNA. And Scott D'Amore, the kind of head of TNA Wrestling, was on microphone and took over all about the reasoning of why this took place. It's going to be happening in January. He did an interview with Tom Hannafin talking about the change, and he
love
said,
Tom Hannafin.
Yes, I love Tom Hannafin. He's fantastic. I think TNA at our core is who we are. I think it gives us back that swagger that maybe we've lacked. When I talk about too much apologizing that's done, are we going to make mistakes? Absolutely. But when we do, we'll get up, we'll dust ourselves, and we'll just get back at it. And I don't know, guys. I feel like this could kind of fall anywhere on the spectrum as far as like you get the idea of why they're doing this. Does it even make sense? Is it a nothing burger? And Jay, once upon a time, I think you wanted to do an Impact podcast.
I did.
So I'll go to you first.
It was
your expert insight.
It was around this time last year, and I wanted to do it because it's really good wrestling.
Yeah,
the best wrestling show on TV. And I know someone out there, well, I don't get Access TV. Well, you can watch it on YouTube. You can get it on Impact Plus right after it gets done airing on Thursday nights. And that's the problem with why we haven't really got into TNA Impact over the years, because it's on when we record the show. And wherever you are, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling a chance. It becomes TNA in January. And, originally I thought this was a great idea. The promo that ran, they had a video package. It was a pretty cool video. It was like I don't even know, like a seance kind of thing with all the talent, like the people that were there when it was TNA, and the response to it's been pretty amazing online. Everyone, from Jordan Grace just said, I'm a TNA knockout. All the guys that were there, the Eric Youngs, the Motor City Machine Guns, those types, Bully Ray, it's pretty awesome. And I think that this is the it's great to have another big company, I guess, even though they've always been there. But with Impact, there's always been that, oh, are they going to go under? Oh, are they going to go under? The product's been amazing over the last year or two. Josh Alexander is one of my favorite wrestlers, and I've only seen him on Impact because that's where he's made his name, made his bones. And with this new rebranding, I'm hoping that big name guys will go there. Of course, Phil Brooks' name has been brought up. Will Ospreay said he'd be open to going back there. He had an amazing match with Speedball Mike Bailey at the pay-per-view. So for me, I'm all in on this. I think it's amazing. Now, I can't figure out if it's TNA Wrestling or if it's TNA Impact Wrestling, because I've seen both. And apparently before the pandemic, there was talks of bringing TNA back as a second brand for Impact. So there would be TNA and Impact. So I don't know. I'm excited for this. I think it's the right move. And January 13th, 2024 is when it goes down.
And Joe, Kevin, we talk about, how it was back in the day. And of course, we have had some fun and also just for educational purposes about you attending the TNA pay-per-view at CompuWare Arena back in the day. So when you heard this, I mean, there's a lot there that Jay kind of threw out about just the feeling that name brought from back in the day with all those wrestlers. It's been so long since it's been TNA. It's been Impact for quite some time. So, I mean, it certainly caught me off guard. So what was your reaction?
I'll say this. So when you think of TNA, you really think of the 6-sided ring, right?
Thank
you. Scott did mention that, boom, you know what I mean? For the safety of the professional wrestlers and the safety of, of their crew and everyone, they're going to stay with the 4-sided, right? So when I think of TNA, I do think immediately to that 6-sided ring. It makes me think somewhat like, NWA announcing their somewhat TV deal. I kind of rank NWA in now, Impact, soon to be TNA back, kind of the same, right? Your third and fourth level. I think since NWA made a little announcement, I think it was very smart with TNA making the announcement, just so they're both in the news and announcements being made. It's exciting. Am I going to watch every week? No. But I do follow up and always read like the results, and I do know the wrestlers that come through there. It would be nice if say like an Ospreay goes there, right, for a long-term deal, not just like a Cody with a short run, right? That type of thing. Get people kind of like a Trinity, right? A name going in there and staying there for a long time, because we do have the Motor City Machine Guns, right? Eric Young went back and signed there instead of AEW. Like, those are the homegrown guys, right? Hey, CM Punk goes there. Great. Maybe we'll get a CM Punk that is new, change, can be the revolution leader to TNA wrestling. But it's fun. I think the name, I've always enjoyed the name, right? It is that it kind of rolls off the tongue.
Would be that one.
Yeah. Everyone. You have to.
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah. Thanks, Cube.
Just call me Ice Tray. I'm throwing those out too.
Oh, geez.
Deep down,
I'm so white.
I hoped that this was the gift Tony Khan gave Sting.
Yeah, you did say that. I was hoping he would buy it and renamed it for Sting, but we'll get into that later. We'll get into the gift in just a minute. So yeah, Joe, your thoughts on this, and Jay was saying,
would have been Sting NA Impact Wrestling?
TNA.
Sting NA. It's his program. He can do that. When it comes to TNA, when it comes to Impact, whatever you want to call it, they're survivors. There are so many stories throughout the past 21 years they've been around that they were going to go under. They survived everything. They survived the Hogan Bischoff experiment. They survived the Monday Night War. They survived being dropped from television deal after television deal after television deal after television deal, and they're still around. So it doesn't matter what their name is. This is the promotion that is going to outlast basically everyone that's not WWE.
Right.
This is the one that's going to be around forever.
So you're saying they're like the cockroach of professional wrestling?
They're the Twinkies of professional wrestling.
Okay,
that's a compliment. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's a compliment because sometimes they're good and you just crave a Twinkie. Other times you're like, I don't really want to have that garbage. But lately, they've been good. I've been checking them out on YouTube. Pluto TV shows old episodes as well. They have a channel dedicated to it. So that's how I've been like catching up on it before I go to bed. I basically like some nights I'll just turn on the Impact channel and watch old pay-per-views or television shows. So they're going to last forever. And they changed the name back. Cool. They'll still be around. They've lasted longer than so many.
But do you know the real reason why they're going to survive, Joe?
Why?
Ice Cube had more amps. Get in, bitch.
That's why.
Now we know. Now we know.
And if you don't know, then now you know.
That's right. We've heard that once or twice before too. Yeah, I find it interesting. Yeah, they're pledging like they're going to do bigger arenas, and that's been kind of the times that I have caught them. It always kind of bums me out because it's like a lower scale like NXT studio with like
I agree.
People. It's like, oh man, I just can't quite get into this. So,
but Brian, I'm telling you, those are the types of rooms though that make a wrestling show. I know you don't do a lot of indie shows, but like,
to be there, I agree. Yeah. I think watching it on TV, it's just not, doesn't come across to me.
I see. I like that aspect of it. Not running stadiums and arenas and stuff, that they're running smaller spaces. And for me, that I find that super enjoyable. But again, you don't do indie shows. So
yeah, but
I hope that this boost AEW's competition up a little bit. You know how like always when there's someone like knocking at your door, you have to improve your product. So when AEW came out, all of a sudden WWE started to improve their product, its competition. I'm hoping that TNA improves AEW. And they stop chasing after.
Not knocking on the door of AEW. AEW is fine. They're the best wrestling in the world, and TNA is not knocking on the door. They don't need TNA to help boost their whatever. They've got the greatest booker in the world. He signed a rookie by the name of Adam Copeland, and he's going to be the future of AEW. I'm Tony Khan. I got to go. Bye.
And he gives the best gifts.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment. We will.
I mean, they may be second hand, third hand, fourth hand, 16-time hand gifts, but they're still gifts.
God.
Let's go.
That's it. Yeah. So okay, yeah. It was teased leading into Dynamite. Of course, the week before, Sting announcing that he will be retiring. His last match will be at Revolution 2024, and it was Tony Khan will be giving a gift to Sting on Dynamite. And I don't know if it was like an official, but I remember there was like rumors earlier in the day of like this is going to be like unlike any other gift before, something to that effect. And I retweeted somebody on Twitter said like, this is Tony Khan, so this could go any direction. It could be like ownership of the company to $100 Best Buy gift card. It's any and all of that. We got Ric Flair. Gift to Sting. It was still, an eyebrow raiser of wow. We got Ric Flair on AEW, but I don't know, the whole setup of the gift. Kind of, like I said, I guess I had no expectations, but I just laughed because that's kind of classic Tony Khan, you would think.
Yes.
Since nobody wanted to talk.
Yeah.
I thought maybe ownership in the company.
I did too.
I have heard that maybe they were going to do like a jersey hanging ceremony, so there will always be a Sting banner in the arena they work.
Hanging from the rafters. A statue in the rafters.
That's cool.
Something, like that. But we got Ric Flair. And for me, I turned it off.
Oh, wow.
Really?
This is a Hall of Fame talent, new signing all over again. All the hype. Now, granted, Christian Cage has turned it around in the last couple months. But at the time, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Right.
This was supposed to be a gift like no other. It's never been seen before. He gave a 65-year-old man a 75-year-old man as a gift. That's true.
Damn.
Never been seen before in wrestling.
That's true. That is true.
You are Kurt Angle. You are speaking the truth.
Wow.
Well, when you put it that way,
yeah,
the coolness factor just reduced down a little bit. Seeing this surprise, do you think Sting knew or no?
I don't know.
I'm
His face looked like he was surprised, like legitimately surprised,
or pissed because he thought he was going to get that like $380,000 car that Moxley took in the early days of the pandemic.
Inner Circle, yeah.
Or Brian, hey, maybe he wanted those new Samsung earbuds for $99.
Black Friday sales are coming up any day now.
But one highlight I will say,
I would have preferred the surfboard over Ric Flair. I'm just saying.
The way Shivani introduced him was fun. I'll say that. Like it was cool, but it is what it is. But we're gonna get him for a while because he mentioned I'm here with you for this journey. So if we get him every week, probably not, right?
But what does it mean, Kevin?
You tell me what it means.
I don't know what it means. Ric Flair till March. Brian.
Tony.
When's the figure come out?
Coney, are you aware that Ric Flair is a 16-time world heavyweight champion? This is not another rookie like Adam Copeland.
I know who Ric Flair is.
Just making sure.
Oh, fuck.
He is the greatest of all time.
What if
I don't know what it means that he's gonna be in the wagon with Sting till March? I don't know.
It means he'll be at the bar. That's Ric Flair. Christian said it best. He gave him a black liver as a gift.
What if somehow Ric Flair wrestles in AEW, wins the world title?
Oh, come on.
His 17th world title.
Come on.
Under the AEW.
Kevin.
Go watch that.
Even Coney Ton would shit on that move. Come on.
Look, I know who I am, and I know what I'm about, and I know what I believe. I don't know what the fuck this means. Ric Flair till March. I'm Tony Todd. I gotta go and figure my life out.
Yeah, work on that, Coney.
This is what I'm afraid of. And whenever it comes to Ric Flair and Sting, this is what happens. Flair takes the spotlight the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the one who it's going to be all about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid that they're going to do the whole Sting turns on Ric Flair turns on Sting, turns on Sting and Darby Allin. And like Darby was the youngest one in the ring by like 60 years, it seemed like. He had no reason to be in there. You had Tony and Sting and Flair with a combined age of 357 years old. And then you got Darby just like, why am I even here? That was, Jason, you missed nothing when you turned it off. I watched it and I was just basically like, yep, it's like Sting's Hall of Fame speech where Ric Flair inducted him. Yeah. He made it all about himself.
Yeah.
He didn't make it about Sting. He made it about Clash of Champions when I did this and I did that. Ric Flair only knows one level, and that is Ric Flair's level of talking about what Ric Flair has done. So from now until March, it's going to be Ric Flair doing his thing, and it's going to take away from Sting. That's my prediction.
I don't have any Ric Flair in the Roadcaster. Let's see. Who I do have.
I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming hard.
Oh, that's Brock, I think, right? Yeah, whatever he wants, I guess. No, I
but the good news is we won't have to see Ric Flair on WWE TV if and when Charlotte gets her 16th championship.
Yeah, well,
because he'll steal the spotlight from her.
No, I mean, at this point,
be fair to Flair, Joe.
she's
Be fair to Flair.
I don't know.
And he knows that she's better than he was. Like at this point, athletically, she's way more athletic than he ever was.
Because he was never really athletic.
No,
Like he was an athlete, but not
right.
anything that he was the best at the time professional wrestler there was at the time. But it was never about like athleticism. It was about stamina and
Cardio,
putting on the best show.
Yeah,
and that's what he did.
An honest question to the three of you. Did any of you enjoy any of that segment?
Christian. That line that he came up when he came out and said he gave him like an old man with some chains and a black liver. I laughed out loud. I went, it's true. What a gift. What a weird gift. Because
that was the only line that was worthwhile. Like even Christian was a little off on there too. I mean, he had to resort to making fun of the Phillies.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of trash.
Yeah.
I mean, do something
better.
better.
That was coming. Yeah, whatever. I don't listen. Flair can do what he wants. Sting's going out.
That's the problem. Everyone lets Flair do what he wants.
Well, it's too late to stop him now.
Yes, there is. Don't put him on television anymore.
All right, Brian.
Now that we're here.
Okay, Brian, now that we're here, you have kids. You have 2 daughters.
Mm.
Is there something that they've always done and you tried to put a stop to it and it just didn't stop?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean,
that's what we have here.
Yeah.
Instead of a 7-year-old girl, we have a 77-year-old man.
Yeah.
He's getting older by the minute in this podcast because 3 minutes ago he was 75. Now he's 77.
Reverse Benjamin Button. Is that what's happening with Ric Flair? I don't care. Whatever.
Exactly.
It's fine. He's not the main event. You know he wants to wrestle.
That's there's a strong chance
Reaper?
that those two will.
A couple other quick AEW points.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting MJF and Kenny Omega on Collision, guys. When this happened, and they had a little teaser last week backstage, and so then it all came together very quickly on Wednesday night. This reeks of me as Goldberg Hogan on Nitro.
Yeah,
this should be a pay-per-view main event with a month or more of a build and a big deal. And we're getting it on Collision that gets, I think, roughly half the viewers than Dynamite does any given week. Do you guys feel that way too? It sounds like you do. This
would have been Hogan Goldberg on Thunder.
Yes.
Like,
oh my God, on Thunder.
Yeah, like the stare down at the end was cool. This past, right? There's got to be some shenanigans. The match, I
think we get the devil reveal.
Okay. They've been
on Collision.
Yeah.
That's like a tree falling in the woods.
You know what though?
Well, I think they're trying to build.
This might be the plan. Put these badass matches on that you have to see live. Is there anything like Fury and Ngannou are Saturday, but that's 2:00 in the afternoon. Eastern. That has nothing to do with Saturday night. Is there any big college football games on Saturday night that they might be competing with?
Not off the top of my head. Maybe there's a World Series game.
Yeah. No, the World Series is Friday and Saturday.
And then there's also the return of the NBA and no UFC this week because they're taking a week off.
Ooh, and TBS is showing Beetlejuice for 24 hours, so they got that going on.
Is that real?
That's awesome.
That commercial was on Dynamite was 24 hours of Beetlejuice, and I'm like, is that worth it?
Well, I've never seen that movie either. So,
well, you'll have the opportunity this Saturday from 2 to 2.
Well, much like the Christmas Story every Christmas day, never seen that movie either. With the 24.
There's no big Saturday night games, I wouldn't say, for my quick ESPN college scoreboard looking. So yeah, I get it. I get it in one sense, but boy, it seems. Wait, what did you say?
I said they're trying. They're trying.
They're trying. I'm trying, but I'll tell you guys, because the only time, other than like the last week when like Barbara Ryan was front row, that I was like, all right, I want to see if I see Barbara Ryan in the front row at Collision in Toledo. The only other time I like made a point to watch was when MJF and Cole fought FTR.
I watched that.
Remember that in the summer, and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be fun. So maybe that is the recipe moving forward. And then the other one, I sent this during the week, guys. I want to get your first thought. When I sent this, your first thought, because I can see it going any way. The graphic that was online that I shared with you guys. Did you know that Jeff Jarrett has had more matches in AEW this year than Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Hangman Page, and MJF? What was your first reaction when you saw that graphic?
I knew. You know, Jeff Jarrett is the best heel in pro wrestling today. Better than Roman Reigns. He's better than whoever the hell else. Better
Christian
than
Cage.
Ryback. Better than Christian Cage, Ethan Page, Adam Page. All of them.
Mark Henry.
I'm Coney Ton. I gotta go. Bye.
We got Coney's thoughts. Jason, any thoughts on your end with the Jeff Jarrett? Workhorse graphic?
You're a Jarrett fan.
I love Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole TNA era, like, oh God, it's probably 2007. They put out a Jeff Jarrett DVD. It's like 11 hours of stuff, and it's so
Oh my God.
Love it. And then,
Jeff Jarrett ain't watching that.
he actually did, because I actually met him at a live event, and I said, Jeff, I'd love the DVD. What did you think? How it came out? And he loved it. Anyway, look, Jeff Jarrett, what he did in Nashville at Ric Flair's last match, the way he owned that crowd. You want to see something fun? Jeff Jarrett in Mexico throwing tortillas at the crowd walking out in a sombrero. And Google that. That's real. I'm not just making that up to be a dick. Look, it's interesting to see that Jeff Jarrett, who's probably in his 50s, is working more than all the EVPs and their friends. Look, we know the Bucks and Kenny were suspended for a while, and I think Page had an injury. And
Danielson was injured for a little.
Danielson was injured, but look, it just goes to show that it doesn't have to be super indie athletes to be the top dogs in AEW. It can be guys. It can be Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett should be the AEW champion.
Wow. Joe, your first thought when you saw that graphic?
Work smart.
Oh, I like that.
That's what I looked at it as. Like all those guys that Jason mentioned, they were either suspended for being stupid, or they got injured for being reckless and trying to do indie spot fests. Be a professional. Work smart. Tell your story without having to do 450 splashes and all these acrobatics. Guys like Jeff Jarrett and The Miz are going to last as long, like TNA. They're going to last forever because they work smart and they work the crowd. They tell a story without having to, and I'd rather see them than a 35-minute spot fest match. So that's when you sent that, all I thought was work smart.
I like that a lot, man. Not the angle I was thinking of. Kev, what was your first thought? Jeff Jarrett, man. What were
you thinking I was going to say? Nia Jax sucks. No,
I thought you were going to. Well, I'll tell you what I thought you were going to say after Kevin says it. Maybe you'll say what I was thinking.
Dependable. And this is the first thing that came to mind when I saw that graphic. Okay. You know how when you have like an NBA player or an NFL player or an MLB player, and they're like, reached the base 100 times, got 500 receiving yards. I hope Jeff Jarrett has the thing where it's like 40 matches in a year, like something like that. Because when he, came on and joined in, it was like, okay, cool. He'll be lower mid card, but he's fought dependable, has been good on the mic, can show that he still has it, can show that he still goes. I'll say I was surprised because I didn't realize that, piece of information, that fact. It's exciting. I don't know if I agree with Jay to say he's world champion, but I will say to the point that he is giving so many matches, he deserves it more than others. I will gladly say that. Maybe at least a championship match before all said and done in AEW. But the nice thing is, with having that many matches, when will he be done? Not anytime soon.
Hope
That's
not.
the nice thing.
Wow. Well, that's why this was such a good topic, because what I thought at least one of you would have said is what I'm about to say. What happened to AEW? Fresh and new and fresh. We got Jeff Jarrett. We've been watching him since the ESPN days in the afternoon on the USWA.
JEFF.
matches. What? And everything that you guys said.
He's
is
one
true.
of the he's one of the younger ones on the show now.
Guys, apparently, right? He went to Ric Flair, like you said, hey, Pops, but
I think we all gave up on the
everything
fresh
you
and
said
new.
is true.
Yeah,
it's
I
not a
didn't-
knock
I
on
was-
Jeff Jarrett. It's a knock on, for me, it was just like, wow, AEW, you have all these guys, and Jeff Jarrett's working more than them. Like, it feels like it shouldn't be that way. And, to your point, maybe injuries or suspensions, time off, that plays a factor. But that's what caught my eye first, and I'm glad you guys took it different directions, because
Fresh
that's
and
not where
new
my head was.
left Jacksonville and came out from under the stage in Dallas a couple years ago. Cody was pushing fresh and new, pushing like the younger guys, but then all the EVPs and their buddies, and then Tony Khan with his fig collection of getting all these, names from the past. That left with Cody. He saw the writing on the wall. I mean, they're not the same company they were 4 years ago. We know that,
fair.
but they're older now and slower. But people are still talking about. We're talking about it. We're watching it, not enjoying it as much, but hey, there's other alternatives now. That's the bonus.
Half the show.
Oh, well, you're watching half the show.
Yeah. But no, it is a credit to Jeff Jarrett. So you guys all point. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I was caught off guard on that one. Let's move on to Tuesday night, the first of 2 weeks of NXT's Halloween Havoc. A couple of notable things. We have a new NXT Women's Champion. Lyra Valkyria defeats Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch had her reign, and she was doing all these challenges. And guys, holy shit, what a good match. Did you guys see this?
Yeah. It wasn't a surprise, because
was to me.
It wasn't a surprise because
I
the
must be an
women
idiot.
the
I don't
women
know.
of NXT are just booked better in all areas, all brands.
Yeah.
So having Becky Lynch down there, she knew what her job was. It was to elevate a new talent, and she elevated the last talent that she got the championship from. So she did her job. I enjoyed it. I'm glad it happened.
Speaking of Tiffany Stratton, did you see the segment with the girl dressed up as Tiffany Stratton? That was hilarious.
I had no idea who that was.
That was the Brooks and Dunn chick.
Right. And I had to find that later, because I watched it twice, and I was like, I have no idea who that is. And that was a really good impersonation. Wow. And then I was like, oh, that's Fallon Henley or whoever. That was
what's interesting about this is Becky did what she was there to do. And on the flip side, personally, she has increased her value. Her contract's up.
Becky.
Oh.
Tony Khan should give her the CM Punk money, the $5 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
And then she can turn that women's division around. And most likely, if Becky leaves, well, the others will follow if booked properly.
If only she had a husband who wrestles. And what's his contract? Who knows?
Yeah, nothing on Seth, but yeah, the Becky contract's coming up. Alexa Bliss is coming up, but with her being pregnant, I don't know if that adds on like an injury.
Yeah. Oh,
They typically do that.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah. So it was great. She did what she was supposed to do. And now, I'm not going to lie. On Monday, when they showed Valkyria on screen, I thought that was Roxanne Perez for a minute.
Yeah.
She doesn't wear makeup on Tuesday. It's because she was in the crowd, and it threw me off for a second.
Yeah. I haven't really, got Lyra Valkyria, but that match was so good. So I'm interested to see her with the belt, how that's going to go.
It's funny because she started off as a character from Dragon's Lair.
Yeah. She had the the black wings and
I didn't know if anyone
okay.
would get that reference because I'm older than all of you, but
No,
Video
I get
game.
it. It's a dragon and he's in a lair. It's great. Kevin, any thoughts on that title match? Did you see that? How that went for you?
I will throw out a compliment to Indy on Monday. I thought the Becky Indy match was pretty good.
Was good.
And then the nice face to face, with leading up to Tuesday. NXT was pretty good. I fast forward. I did DVR it. I watched it on earlier on Wednesday. So I fast forwarded a little bit, but that match was fantastic. Fantastic. Elevated. Not just the NXT women, like Indy, haven't seen her in a hot minute. I feel like it kind of pushed her and maybe she'll have some good matches now on Raw. So she helped elevate some lower level unseen talent on the main roster too. So Becky did some benefits to NXT and the main roster.
Tegan Knox too.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tegan
For sure.
one.
Ones that I kind of forgot about. They were like they were even there. But I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Where it goes from there, we saw Jade looking like $1 million, right? Actually coming out, not just on a backstage segment. That looked pretty big, like kind of scoping it out to not make an impact somewhere in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice thing.
That's the next move now.
I feel I would almost like it to her to, show up on NXT, do some damage, Raw and SmackDown. Show up on everything.
Be a free agent.
Yeah, whoop it.
On This Week in Jade Cargill, I think that there should be a bidding war between the 3 general managers.
Oh, like that?
Like they did with Scott Steiner?
Back in the day, yeah. Raw or SmackDown for him.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have like an NXT match where it's going to be Survivor Series match where it's NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, right? And someone gets hurt, and then Jade comes in and reps the colors that she goes in.
Well, let like they said on SmackDown last week, let the games begin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need Aldis versus Pierce versus HBK. Winner gets Jade Cargill.
Oh, triple GM challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I like that I said SmackDown because my guy's the only one who's pretty much in ring shape to do a match.
I bet Pierce could still go.
Oh, I think Pierce can.
Yeah, but it's been a while. All this is the most recent.
Yeah, but I'm sure he can. I'm sure Pierce trains, maybe not in the ring every day, but I mean, look, the guy. What's funny now is a lot of old promos are popping up on Reels and Twitter from Pierce. I watched one today of Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Pierce. Some indie.
That's fun.
That's awesome. So, and I'm here for it. Pierce, HBK, Aldis, Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Special guest referee, Chelsea Green. Insisting on speaking to a manager for making her the referee, and all the managers are in the ring.
She'll have to call it down the middle, I think, right? So that was fantastic. What did you guys think about the debut? Brian Pillman Jr., the new Lexus King. Yeah, Lexus King. He had his debut on NXT. Jay, you already gave a little thumbs up, I think, right?
It's Lexus King. However, it was amazing. How awful was Booker T during the Lexus King match?
I need to go back and watch.
I tune them out. So I knew that would come up because I heard about it, and I'm I kind of tune out Booker T now whenever he
Brian
speaks.
Pillman Jr., but he doesn't want to go by that. He go by the man and raise it. But Brian Pillman, you got parts of Brian Pillman. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I read. It was Booker, you're all over the place.
He's
quack
on fucking flipping the channel, man. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Lexus King looked great.
Yes.
I love the sliding throne.
That was fun. That's fun.
His hair looked great. Much better than it did in NXT or AEW.
Oh, the puffy mullet.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
The 80s mullet.
He looked like a star.
He looks like he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
He never looked that way in AEW, and in one match, he's done more on NXT than he did in AEW. We already talked about this in the past too, about how this is like just a feel-good story for someone who generally feels like a good dude. So good for him, and I hope that it continues to rise. All hail the king.
Yeah. Oh, all hail the king. Is that part of the show?
No, I just said that.
Okay. Well, get ready for those t-shirts here any week on nxtshop.com. That's good. The only thing I would change...
whatermaneuver.net. And while you're there, you can also check out that wrestling podcast merchandise.
Why am I not plugging our own merch site? How terrible am I?
But then we're gonna get Booker. Hey, I used to be a king. I used to.
Oh my God! Yeah, he'll
but now I'm not, and now I am. Shucky ducky, quack quack.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Where's my chicken parm?
The only thing I would change is with that finisher, put that guy's legs on the top rope. He had kind of like a crossroads assisted on the ropes thing. The middle rope, put it on the top.
Well, what's funny is when that was happening, Booker's like, look at this innovative offense. I'm like, this is what Randy Orton's been doing for 15 years.
Yeah. He's hanging.
Then he flipped him instead of great
DDT. So. Yeah. Well, cool. I liked it too, guys. Let's take a look back now. We do this occasionally. We go back maybe when a show's going on and to kind of say, what do we remember from this show from in the past? And I put out a couple options like the rebirth of Halloween Havoc with NXT in 2020, or the very final true Halloween Havoc as a pay-per-view for WCW. And when I saw the card and the results of the 2001, I said, we got to talk about this because
no one remembers this.
Maybe you don't remember, but if you need a moment to encapsulate what WCW was in the last couple months, this pay-per-view will do that. So it starts off, I think, pretty good. There's 11 matches on the card, so they were following the AEW.
Let's quickly go through them.
Huh?
Let's quickly go through them.
We'll quickly go through them. First match, 3-way dance for the tag championships. It was the Natural Born Thrillers, Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare, and they defeated the Filthy Animals, which was Kidman and Rey Mysterio, with Conan. Shout out to Kevin. And the Boogie Nights, which was Disco Inferno and Alex Wright. Wow. So that goes 10 minutes.
I think I'm going to go watch this tonight before I go to bed.
I think if you want to laugh, I think this is good. Reno, who last name of one of my best friends, but I have no clue who he is. He defeated Sergeant AWOL in the Hardcore Championship match.
I don't know who Sergeant AWOL is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Misfits in Action. That's all I know.
I know the name.
I get that, and I know some of the other ones, but Sergeant AWOL.
Reno was part of the Mama Luke's
Moon class of 97. Oh, wait.
Well, speaking of,
weren't they part of like the wannabe full-blooded Italians, and they basically call themselves the Mama Luke's or something like that? I don't know.
Take your word for it.
Speaking of Misfits in Action, Brian, take it over.
Next week, we'll do a deep dive into the career of Reno and WCW.
What's Corporal Cajun up to?
Well, that's next, actually. Kevin, he's up next.
I just remember Lieutenant Loco and GI Bro.
Lieutenant Loco and Corporal Cajun defeated the Perfect Event, which was Sean Stasiak, better known as Meat, and Chuck Palumbo. Wow.
Would he be in your tournament?
What's this?
Is Sean Stasiak in your tournament?
I think he was by default. Yes, he would be fitting the Meat tournament.
Slapping him.
We're slapping that Meat. God, the names were so bad for all these teams. The Filthy Animals. So Conan's back. He was out earlier. He's back. He's got somebody named Tigress with him. So I'm guessing that's a girl because they defeated Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson. Joe, this popped a memory.
I remember Tigress. She was a Nitro girl. And that's all I remember.
That's a sentence you never thought you'd say in 2023. I remember Tigress.
Hey, I remember. You know what? Tigress, never forget.
Did you have a poster of the Nitro Girls in your room?
No.
Did you, Kevin? Now?
No, but did anyone ever want to videotape themselves doing a Nitro party so you could get the Nitro Girls to come to your basement? I wanted to. I really did.
Lately, I've been having issues trying to sleep. So I just throw on an old Nitro.
Oh, that helps.
I love Nitro. I loved it back then. So the one, they were in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. They were at UNC. And they went to a party, and it looked like it was in a dorm room somewhere or studio that made it look like a dorm room. It was so much fun. And then like someone, I think it was Disco Inferno, came to the ring, and he was like, "The Tar Heels suck. I like Duke." All those years later, it still works to get the cheap.
Yep.
But no, I never filmed myself for Nitro Party, but I've been watching Nitro lately, just randos. Like,
oh my God,
year 4, year 5, when the NWO 2000 forms.
oh,
that'll
get you to
Jarrett,
sleep.
Brett, Nash, and some others.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious.
Thank you, Brett.
He was there too.
Who are you to doubt
rocking?
El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Serious professional.
Right. That's one of Brett's greatest promos.
What other
Brett's
matches were on the card?
Brett's second greatest moment in WCW.
Behind the
Steel plate.
Steel plate.
Yeah. Just those two. All right, keep going with the card.
How about this next one? Buff Bagwell defeats David Flair in a First Blood DNA match. What?
Is that
No,
DNA match like a one-on-one, or is it
Stacey
DNA to prove like it's a match?
It was to prove who the father of Stacy Keebler's unborn baby was.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Good call.
This match went 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
That's five
minutes and 39 seconds too long. Thank you,
Well, if
Kevin.
you think that went too long, maybe this one will top it for you. How about Mike Sanders defeats Ernest Miller in a kickboxing match in 8 minutes 32 seconds?
Moving on.
Next.
Mike Awesome defeats Vampiro.
Was he the fat
Wait, why is he
gorilla there?
Yeah, I don't. Was he the 70s?
Oh wait, it
guy
was
at the
Mike
time? I don't
Sanders
know.
and then Mike Awesome. So back-to-back Mikes. Way to go.
It's Mike
Way to go.
Mania.
Brian, what was Mike Awesome like in ECW?
A killer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like a toe-to-toe with a Taz and a Bam Bam Bigelow. He was a big guy because he was never like a Kevin Nash giant size, but for ECW, where it's smaller guys,
He's probably what,
he's
6'4"?
he's probably like 6'6", I'd say, and that would like tower over these dudes.
Yeah,
he kind of like a rhino, I'd say. But yeah,
But he was also athletic too.
Yeah, very athletic. A lot of dives over the ropes and all kinds of.
I remember always seeing like the clip of him and I believe it's a gentleman of Asian descent, like with two chairs and just smashing
Tanaka.
each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
In ECW.
Yeah, that's a match to go. What do you mean shares cause concussions? Because you watch those guys, they kick the shit out of each other.
Well, they kicked the shit out of each other on the first one night stand too.
Yes.
Exactly.
But I didn't know who they were. So
And that was just like a slowed down version of what Mike Awesome was in ECW.
Gotta go look up some Mike Awesome.
Yeah. No, he was
R.I.P.
his day. Getting back to the names, we have General Rection. Jesus Christ! I just said that out loud.
Ernest.
Who was General Rection, guys?
Was that PB? Was that a chick?
No, that was Major Guns. That's what you're thinking.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't General
Rection? I just looked it up. Any guesses?
Oh,
Wasn't it
Hugh
Hugh
Morris.
Morris?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hugh Morris.
Bill DeMott,
Yeah.
Hugh Morris. That's who.
I
That
didn't
was.
even
Corporal
look.
Cajun was like Lance LaRue.
Lash LaRue.
Lieutenant Loco was Chavo.
Lash LaRue, yeah.
They're all amazing names.
And G.I. Bro was NXT's top commentator, Booker T.
He beat Lance Storm and Jim Duggan. So Jim Duggan was probably as a candidate.
That's when he turned down the U.S. for some stupid reason.
Yep. So he's your U.S. heavyweight champion now.
So.
Okay, and now this is the one match I actually wanted to look into. Appropriately enough, we talked about both these gentlemen tonight. Jeff Jarrett defeated Sting. Okay, and I'm looking. It's a singles match, 14 minutes 30 seconds. I'm like, wow, that seems like that's pretty decent. They had some time. Guys, I read what happened in this match. Let me read this to you and see if you can follow me.
Yeah.
While Sting made his way to the ring, a man dressed as Sting from early in his career attacked him. However, Sting was able to fight him off. Following this, another Sting dressed in his early 90s look attacked him. Followed by another Sting from the NWO Wolfpack. Toward the end of the match, Sting had Jarrett in the deathlock. A crow Sting came through the mat and pulled Sting under with him. After Sting escaped, he went for the Scorpion Death Drop. However, the cloud with the lights went out, and another crow Sting came from the rafters, who hit Sting with a Death Drop. Following this, another...
I love
Was it Joker Sting? Were they foreshadowing what was going to happen?
We need a watch along on this.
Another fake Sting broke a guitar over Sting's head, followed by Jarrett hitting guitar on Sting's head, and Jarrett wins the match. Guys, I swear there's a legitimate 6 or 7 fake Stings in this match. Holy shit.
And I'm guessing Mark Madden fell for every single one of them.
My God. I had one idea in my mind of how that match went, and then I read that and went, holy, the WCW 2000. Wow. Oh, crap. Yeah, I have to watch that. All right. So then we had Booker T. He defeats Scott Steiner by disqualification. In your main event, Goldberg defeats Chronic. Do you guys remember Chronic?
Yeah, the one and done.
Russian Atom Bomb, right?
Russian Atom Bomb.
The one and done Invasion Tag Team.
Yep. It was a handicap elimination match. This is your main event. Goldberg won in 3 minutes 43 seconds. That's your main event.
Wow.
Well, interesting you bring up Goldberg because there's rumors he's going to be the one that Jericho's bringing to town next week.
The Jericho big guy to
it's not Captain Insano?
It's probably going to be Captain.
Those are the two.
Or Goldberg or Odyssey Jones.
Their tag team name will be Jarasano.
Oh my God.
I hope that's not what it is.
But boy, that's Halloween Havoc 2000, guys. My God. And that's why they went out of business in like 6 months after that.
I want to go watch it.
I will watch that Jeff Jarrett Sting match. What the fuck just happened? That was
Take a drink every time when Sting comes out.
I was like, it kept saying another Sting. Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We'll have a little fun here to end. We do our own drafts every now and again. So I thought it'd be fun. We could do a Halloween season draft. Okay, 5 of our favorite things about the season. It's fall, it's spooky, it's Halloween, it's tricks and treats, all of that stuff. So you can say an answer. We'll do. You guys want to do 3 or 5? You care?
Yeah, 3's good.
3. We'll knock out 3 things each for our draft. You can't draft what somebody else has done. Kev, you want to go first?
Yeah,
sure.
I think
you escape the cave. That sounds like something a Halloween movie would happen. So
yeah. I'll be very honest. When I think of Halloween, I think of trick or treating. Period.
Got it. Trigger. We're going right at
number 1.
Trigger. I'll even make it a little bit more specific in case somebody else has a different variation. I'll say trick or treating as a kid.
All right.
I'll go second.
Trick or treating.
You can't say trick or treating as an adult, Joe.
No, I'm not going to. With the second pick of the Halloween memory draft, horror movies. Starting in September all the way up until November 2nd, the only thing allowed in the household is horror movies. Wow. It is like we have all the Halloweens, we have all the Nightmares, we have all the Fridays. And I love the cheesy ones too. Like tomorrow night, our viewing pleasure before SmackDown is going to be the 1986 classic Chopping Mall. Look it up. It is the most ridiculous 80s horror movie, but it's perfect. Like all those things. Like I love horror movies, all the Evil Deads, like horror movies in general. It's just like they're amazing in every single way, the good and the bad.
Do you guys watch the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas too every Halloween?
That's not a horror movie.
You said a horror movie.
horror. Nice try. No, actually on Halloween, it's tradition. It's my wife's idea, and I love it. We watch Halloween, the original Halloween 1 and 2 back to back because it's a continuing story. And then November 1st, the next day, we watch Halloween H2O.
And then another Sting came out.
And then another Sting came out. But no, like when I think Halloween, it's just scary.
Different mask.
Different jumpsuit.
So Joe's taking every horror movie known to
they're
man.
off the board. They're off the board. Except for the Whorehouse in Texas movie. That could
the
be
best little whorehouse in
anything
Texas, like horror movies. Yes.
Wow. All
Joe,
right.
for the majority of the year, he loves Disney. In those 3 months, he's like, "Fuck you, Walt. It's time for
Stab
horror."
everybody.
I get 2 months. My wife gets 10, and I have to deal with Hallmark Christmas movies right after November 2nd.
That's why you have more than one TV in your house.
Jay, you want to make your first pick?
Well, I was gonna go with Scream because that's the.
It's off the
You
board.
can go with that.
apparently.
I don't
I'm not
watch
picking
no,
every
no,
horror
it's cool.
movie.
You can be a dick.
Joe said
You're gonna be a dick.
horror
I'm gonna go with flannel shirts.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. It's the season for that. I wondered if this category would be challenging because you haven't had the traditional fall experience being an LA guy for so long, so that you're back into it now.
Yeah.
All right, let me look at my draft board here.
You have
Mel
one?
Kipper, who should I pick? No, I'm just kidding.
You don't have
Mel's
that
off the
organized.
clock. He's off the clock. I'll go with the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. Even though I don't watch the new ones anymore, I'm a diehard Simpsons fan. That's the one new episode a year I will try to make a point to watch because those were funny as hell. Kevin, back to you.
I'll say trick or treating as an adult.
Oh, come on.
It's
This is Kevin's not prepared for this segment.
I'll say
I'm sensing a trend.
Brian, you're also a dad. Taking your kid trick or treating is pretty amazing. Just seeing how much fun they have.
Absolutely.
Wait, so that's your second one?
Yeah.
Really
Why
aren't
not?
prepared for this, are you?
No, I have a list.
That's his favorite. That's all good.
Okay.
All right, Joe. Movies are off the board, Joe.
Movies are all movies, and The Simpsons are off the board. I am going to go with, since like with my job, like there's one day a year where I openly wear wrestling t-shirts to work, and that is on Halloween. I just say I'm a different wrestler each time.
Oh my god.
Halloween time where Mr. Me can go to school wearing wrestling t-shirts. Love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the year. Kids don't know who I am, but I don't care. It's all about me.
Do you know who you
dress
will
up
be
time.
on Tuesday? Do you have your
I
plan picked?
think I'm going with the KO shirt with the fake beard that Kevin gave me for
Very
Christmas.
nice.
So
I like
I'm not going sleeveless though because it's still like I still have to be in school, but I think I'm gonna go as Kevin Owens, and I think I'm gonna get like 5 people who know who I'm gonna be.
Is your wife wearing the Sami Zayn shirt to work too?
I've been trying to get her to, but my wife works with me. I'm trying to, but she's like, no, I can't do that. No one will know. I'm like, who cares?
You and
Like
I.
one year I wore an NWO shirt with a white bandana that I got from Kevin's wedding, and I was Scott Hall, and it's like the kids were like, who are you? I'm like, here's my impersonation. See if you get it. Hey yo. They had no idea, but it didn't matter because it was all for me. So
You marked out.
Wait a minute.
Hey. Yeah.
Do you had bandanas at your wedding, Kevin?
I think it was a situation where I think I put it around in front of Laura's eye or covered Laura's eyes during like
and
garter
then
time.
you threw it into the crowd,
Yeah.
and my wife caught it and she kept it. And it was a white with black on it, so it was just like what Scott Hall wore.
That's not what I meant to hit.
Joe, you suck.
That was very accurate.
That was good. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Um,
Jay, what do you got for number 2? We're moving along nicely.
You can cut this
Let
out.
me give you
can't we?
one. How do you feel about caramel apples, Jay? You want to go?
Pumpkin seeds.
Not a fan. Not a fan. I will do
Crown Royal and apple. drinks.
Carmelo's candies.
Ooh, Carmelo's.
Why not?
He's
Why
not
Werther's
greedy like
original?
Joe. He's not taking all
Every candy ever.
Yeah, candy.
I'm sorry. I just love horror movies so much that it's like I couldn't just pick one.
Yeah, but you're not watching the best horror house in Texas. That's the best horror movie there is. Can't believe you didn't put that on your list.
Wow.
Come on. I gotta go. Bye.
All
Go
right,
figure
I'm
out why
thanking-
you signed Ric Flair.
He's still figuring it out.
I told you, man. I don't understand. Don't know what it means. And I gotta go figure my life out. I'm
We
Coney.
wish you the best in your future endeavors, Coney.
Bye.
I'm going number 2. I'm going cider and donuts. That's a fun thing year round, honestly, but it's good hot. It's good cold. Cider and donuts, always a good thing in the fall for me. All right, Kev. I think trick-or-treating as a kid and as an adult are off the board. Trick-or-treating as a senior citizen still remains. If you
Is it-
want.
Still on the board.
Teenagers not dressed up taking candies from trick or treaters.
Trick or treating while I was in the womb. No, just kidding. I'll say college partying on Halloween night.
Okay, like that. Any
times.
specific memory of a party or moment from any of that?
Fun fact, it was actually the year after I graduated. Jay and I, Beef, dressed up as Legends of the Hin Temple.
Oh, I remember that.
What's that?
A show that was on Nickelodeon.
In the 90s.
I still have my shirt and I still have my pendant of life.
Jesus.
I do.
Is that how you made it out of the darkness retreat?
Yeah, the pendant.
It showed
you
me the
way.
light.
All right, Joe. Number 3, final vote for you. Final
All
pick.
right. It's not trick or treating. It's not trick or treating as adult. It's not college girls' excuses to dress up scandalous and say that they're
still
a cat.
on the board. Still on the
I'm
board.
not going with that. I'm going with hearing kids talk about what they're going to be for Halloween. The excitement that they have in their conversations.
Joe's
What?
getting pervy.
No,
Oh,
just
come
hearing,
on. Be nice.
No, Kevin, please. That's not funny with what I do for a living.
Right.
But like,
be nice.
they hear what they say, they hear them talk about, and the excitement for that night and the build up. It's the innocence of Halloween. Even though it's the innocence of Halloween and the kids just loving it. It's not about candy. It's about pretending. And that's something that we forget to do as an adult. So the childlike innocence of Halloween. That is my third pick.
I'd actually like to change my second pick,
and
Brian.
every horror movie again.
I would like to say the excitement after trick or treating as a parent, where you get to eat all your kids' candy.
Yeah. I should draft that one under principle there, Kev. I'm with you. I'm so with you.
Jason.
I am going to go with the main event of Halloween Havoc 2000.
Thank
Jeff
you.
Jarrett versus 18 Stings.
Thank you.
Jeff Jarrett versus.
Thank you. A classic in any building in the country. Yep.
What is the plural form for sting?
Stings.
Sting.
Oh,
It's still sting.
Stinging. All right. I am going with for my third and the final pick of the Halloween season draft. I'm going with Halloween music. Ghostbusters, Monster Mash, Nightmare on My Street. Somebody's watching.
Are you looking at a Spotify playlist now?
Yes, he is.
Exactly.
He's totally doing
Yep.
that.
There it is. Thriller. All that stuff. I love playing all that stuff.
I'm surprised your first pick wasn't Mike Tyson singing the Monster Mash. You love that video.
You're right. That's an oversight on my part.
Tyson and Bobby
Cider
Brown.
and donuts. I'm trading you for Tyson, Bobby Brown, Monster Mash, and a pick to be named later.
I'm surprised you didn't pick pumpkin beer.
It was on the board. It was strong consideration. I think if we went with the 5 round, it would have been taken. But
I was going to pick alt beer to fuck you all over, like Joe.
Beer. Yes.
Beer.
I'm partaking in a pumpkin beer as I speak and enjoy this podcast. But yeah, not unfortunately made my cut. but such is life. Wow, guys. All right. Halloween. Everybody have a great, safe, and happy Halloween. Hey, by the way, you can listen to our podcast on Spotify. All right. In case you haven't done that in a while. Of course, we're on YouTube, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. But don't forget about Spotify. I'm just pulling up my playlist right now, and it reminded me to do that just like that. YouTube.com/That Wrestling Podcast. It's true, Jay. I'm just talking as I'm thinking. To subscribe to our YouTube channel and at That WrestlePod for all your social media needs. And we'll be back next week. It'll be the preview for Crown Jewel as we get on the road to Saudi Arabia for the WWE next week. And whatever else happens in the week that was in professional wrestling, we'll talk about it on That Wrestling Podcast. Enjoy wrestling, everybody.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.